Hey everybody, it's Mark, Dr. Delirious, and it's time for the Inbox Challenge 2, Day 18. And today's numbers were picked by my vinyl bar, Yarko. Yarko makes videos, made an awesome video response to my heavy metal contest where he showed the heaviest metal. And a link to his channel will be down below in the descriptions. So he picked 3, I'm doing 5 because I'm nuts. First is a first U.S. pressing of St. Dominic's Preview. I picked this up. Look at this. This is like just about as near mint a copy as you could find of this record. And gorgeous green label Warner. Vinyl's in really good condition. Record sounds amazing. Nothing interesting in the dead wax. Most of the Van Morrisons don't have interesting dead wax, in that they're not like signed by a mastering engineer, but the first his band and Street Choirs do have a master disc RL in them, and they're done by Robert Ludwig. St. Dominic's Preview, it's got this little program in it, which is cool. It's got just a list of the songs and then the players that are on each song. So that's that, and it comes with the Warner Lost Leader insert, inner sleeve. About the music. This is his 6th solo record. First there was Blowing Your Mind, Astral Weeks, Moon Dance, his band in the Street Choir, Tupelo Honey, and then this. And then after this was Hard Knows the Highway and It's Too Late to Stop Now. Those are all great records, every one of those. I don't know. I think the first 5 records are almost perfect. I don't think this one is. This is great, but there's a song on here that's highly derivative of something off Moondance, and that's kind of disappointing. However, there's a song on here that leads us to where he's going in the future, and where he was still working on and doing great versions of on things like Enlightenment and Hymns to the Silence, which are 2 of my favorite albums. Kind of talky, spiritual, poetic scene building kind of songs where he just works over a groove. But yeah, so this and there's some cool stuff on here. This is a really bluesy, several bluesy tracks almost. Less rhythm and blues, more bluesy in a way. So I mean that's kind of new, and that's kind of interesting. It's just there's just a couple things when I was listening to this that just were not quite where the other 5 are. But the good songs on here are great. So I highly recommend this. If you find yourself a nice green label Warner, well, you wouldn't leave it, would you? Because you know I'd come down to your home for a visit and a talking to. I mentioned It's Too Late to Stop Now as live record. One of the best live records ever. Phenomenal lineup, great performance, classic Van. But yeah, if you see that, check it out. More classic rock. Madman Across the Water, Elton John. This is a first U.S. pressing. It has this awesome book in it that's attached to the cover. And this is on the beautiful Uni label. And this is a U.S. pressing on Uni. And this is phenomenal sounding. I know and this was owned by Davies. Like, I'll never get that off. I know that what is considered the definitive pressing of this record is UK DJM first pressings, the one that are kind of red when you hold them up to the light, like a dark maroon, the wax. And I have one of those that's kind of beat up, like one side's got a scratch on it that you hear the whole way through, but the other side's good. And I kind of agree with that. But this is pretty awesome. These early unis, the first 7 or 6 Elton John records, the early ones were pressed on uni. They're fantastic. The uni stuff is clearly, if you can't get a UK, you get a uni. I compared this pressing to the DCC, which is also considered by many to be definitive, on a friend system, which is like a $250,000 audiophile dream system. And the DCC had things that were better about it, and this had things that were better than the DCC. There was the vocals were in a different spot in the mix. One, they were kind of sunk back, one they were up front, one the bass was a little muddy, one the bass was really tight. So each of them did something the other one didn't do, which made neither one better. So, I mean, my God, a DCC of this will cost you a bloody fortune, and you can pick this up in a dollar bin for $1. That was redundant, but you get my point. So get that. And this is by far my favorite Elton John record. Tiny Dancer, Leave On. Okay, everybody knows those songs. They're actually great songs. They're overplayed, but they're actually great songs. But Razorface is phenomenal, and Madman Across the Water is a gigantic tune. That side could go up as one of the best sides on any record. Side 2 has Indian Sunset, Holiday Inn, Rotten Peaches, All the Nasties, and Goodbye. And I love side 2 too. I think side 2 is phenomenal, but I think side 2 is more of a, you know, if you're a big Elton John fan like I am of his early work, Captain Fantastic Back, not including Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, which is garbage, you'd like side 2. I think that's his strongest single record from start to finish. I think the deep cuts are actually very good, and even his first several records, not everyone is strong the whole way through. Even then he was working on the King of Filler. Like, him and McCartney could win a war, but, you know, battle, they could throw 1,000,000 filler bombs at each other. In the Wake of Poseidon, just kind of blank there. King Crimson, this is the first US pressing on Atlantic. This doesn't have any initials in the dead wax, but it does have LW for the long wear. That's where the metal plates were made. It's actually scripted LW. It's got AT for Atlantic, but it doesn't have GP, which these often do. But look at this gorgeous piece of wax. This is a good sounding record. I don't think it's as good as my Canadian Red Atlantic, which is not as good as a solid pink white eye Island, so from the UK. It's not that's not one of my favorite King Crimson records. I'm going to say it. Neither is In the Court of the Crimson King. I think the first 2 records are not great. A lot of people are going to disagree with me on that, but I think later stuff like Islands and stuff like that. But anyways, that's a good record. It's just not as great as others. Really good to get. Really happy to get that, though. I mean, to have clean copies of that are both Canadian first pressings and US first pressings, and be able to listen to the differences between the 2 of them, and play those for people, and, you know, it's always great to have two good sounding pressings that sound different, that people can then subsequently, they get a chance to hear what they should be listening for, and how to, when they want to tell pressings apart, and you know what that kind of game is about. Arild Andersen Shimri. This is a demonstration copy, not for sale. It is in fact a white label promo that has master disc in the Dead Wax, but not RL. And this is a Polydor era. Arild Andersen, Juhani Aaltonen, Lars Jensen, and Paul Thausen. And what a fucking monster this is. This is just a gorgeous record. This record's a little noisy in that it's a little beat up, but it's what fantastic music. Just very spiritual, very journey. So I talk about ECMs a lot. And one of the things I say when I talk about ECMs is, you know, it fits into the ECM sound. So it's got that going for it, and it's soundtracky, and it's spiritual, and it sets a mood or whatever. But you know, it's not one of the top 25 ECMs. This is one of the top 25 ECMs. This is essential. This is fantastic. If you see that, buy it. And finally, another Windham Hill. Did I show Windham Hill the other day? Or maybe I was just slagging them off. Michael Hedges, live on the Double Planet. And Michael Hedges is by far the poster boy for Windham Hill. George Winston is probably known by more people, but Michael Hedges was the talent. And he was the one that was putting the asses in the seats. This is another one of these Qui-X vinyl pressings. I don't know if I can get this to show. Yeah, okay. Anyway, it's see-through. It's got that orange, kind of russety tint to it. Nothing interesting in the Dead Wax. This is a good record. Michael Hedges, he died. He's like, he's kind of like Colin Walcott, in that he died. He was a brilliant musician who died far too young in a car accident. And what would he have done with the years that he lost? This record would be fantastic if he didn't sing on it. And there are records in his catalog where he doesn't sing, and they're sublime. And Aerial Boundaries. And then there are records where he does. And when I Guess You were the big horse in the stable, you know, oh yeah, sing, Michael, you're fantastic at it. No, it's terrible. There are some people who should not be singing. Here's another one. So that kind of kills it, but the live stuff is great. He was like a guitar player that used to play like guitars that had like 6 necks on them, and it's like some sort of Klingon batleth guitar, and 48 strings all over the place, and you know, this is kind of what he looked like. This photo of him here, that of course, here I am. This photo of him here that just completely has, you know, he's moving in it all the time. And I think you should check him out. If you don't know him, go onto YouTube and look up Aerial Boundaries. This has some covers on here, All Along the Watchtower is really cool. He did a cover of Helpless by Neil Young. That's fantastic. So this is a good record. I'm happy to get this. Sounds really good. Just because it's a good record, but you know, if you want to, the best Windham Hill record is Arild Andersen, in my opinion. That's Michael Hedges. So Live on a Double Planet, it's good. This is essential. This is essential. This is a good record. I like all King Crimson records. I mean, it's hard for me to say any of them's a piece of shit, but that's one of the weaker ones. But a nice first U.S. pressing. It's a grail in my collection in many ways. A lovely copy of this, and I think this is an essential record in any collection. It's one of the thread a long time ago where it was the great records in the dollar bins, and that's one of them. And St. Dominic's Preview. I love Dan. He can't do anything wrong. I've never not listened to his music since I discovered him, and I've liked everything he's done. And but I think that's, you know, that's a good record. That's not one of his greats. So, Yarko, thanks for playing along. Thanks for picking the numbers. That's it, everybody. See you tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody. Keep the record spinning.